Welcome to Iraqi Dinar News, your trusted source for timely insights into global currency movements and critical economic updates that matter most to investors, economists, and anyone monitoring worldwide financial shifts. While our primary coverage centers around the Iraqi dinar, today we turn our attention to another rising currency that's quietly generating significant momentum: the Vietnamese dong, VND. With the landscape of 2025 unfolding rapidly, many experts now believe the VND may soon take on a more prominent role in the foreign exchange world. Let's explore why this Southeast Asian currency is attracting global attention and why its trajectory is becoming harder to ignore. Historically, the Vietnamese dong has been overlooked in international markets, often labeled as illiquid and limited in use beyond Vietnam's domestic economy. That reputation, however, is undergoing a major transformation. Throughout current date in USA, the VND has seen a surge of interest from both global financial institutions and independent investors. Vietnam's sustained economic growth, improving trade relations, and focus on modernizing its financial systems are contributing to this currency's growing appeal. One of the core drivers behind the dong's strengthening position is Vietnam's reliable and impressive economic performance. The country consistently outpaces many of its neighbors in Southeast Asia when it comes to GDP growth. With a thriving manufacturing sector, flourishing agricultural exports, and a rapidly advancing tech industry, Vietnam is solidifying itself as a hub of productivity. These economic pillars are helping to bolster the value of the dong and sparking increased demand from foreign companies relocating operations into Vietnamese territory. Earlier this year, the State Bank of Vietnam took noteworthy steps that signaled rising confidence in the dong. A slight upward revision in the VND's official reference rate sent a clear message to financial analysts. Policymakers believe the currency may be undervalued and are preparing for it to appreciate over time. This change hints at a broader strategy to gradually loosen exchange controls, a shift investors have long been waiting for. Vietnam's foreign exchange reserves have also climbed to historic levels, recently crossing the $120 billion 0 cents mark. This surplus not only enhances the country's ability to manage monetary policy and defend its currency, but also instills confidence in markets wary of volatility. By demonstrating sound economic stewardship, Vietnam is drawing the attention of institutional investors looking for safe exposure in emerging economies. The role of Vietnam in global supply chains is expanding fast. As businesses seek alternatives to China for manufacturing, many are turning to Vietnam. Each new plant and infrastructure investment adds to economic activity and increases demand for VND. Vietnam's trade relationships are also broadening, particularly with strategic partners such as the United States, South Korea, Japan, and Australia. These strong bilateral ties further support the dong's use in international business and improve its visibility on the world stage. Technological advancements in Vietnam's financial sector are moving at an impressive pace. Mobile banking, digital wallets, and blockchain-powered payment solutions are now commonplace across the country. These innovations are accelerating transaction speeds and enhancing public trust in the dong. Millions of citizens who previously relied on cash or informal systems are now banking digitally, saving in VND, and investing in domestic financial products. The Vietnamese government is also exploring the potential of a central bank digital currency, commonly referred to as the digital dong. Though still in the early stages of testing, this initiative has the potential to transform how the currency is used, especially for cross-border payments and remittances. Should the pilot program prove successful, Vietnam could establish itself as a leader in digital financial innovation across Asia. Public trust in the dong is also climbing. Vietnamese households are increasingly choosing to store their wealth in local currency rather than in US dollars or gold. Real estate deals, government bond purchases, and savings accounts in VND are now seen as viable and even preferred options. This growing domestic confidence adds internal strength to the dong and reflects an economy that is becoming more self-assured and stable. Even in surrounding nations, the dong is becoming more accessible. Financial institutions in countries like Thailand, Singapore, and Malaysia are now offering better exchange rates and support for VND transfers. This regional acceptance is a major milestone as it allows the currency to be used more freely and efficiently across Southeast Asia, improving liquidity and trust in international transactions. Private banks and investment firms based in Europe and the Gulf region are also introducing specialized financial products linked to the Vietnamese dong. These investment vehicles are designed for affluent clients looking for high-growth opportunities outside of conventional currencies like the euro or US dollar. For these investors, the dong provides a mix of growth potential and geographic diversification that's hard to find elsewhere. Vietnam's active participation in global trade agreements is another reason the VND is gaining ground. As a member of the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, RCEP, Vietnam has access to one of the largest trade zones in the world. At the same time, bilateral commerce with the United States is reaching new heights in 2025, opening additional channels for the dong to play a role in international settlements. Vietnam's policy environment is also earning recognition, especially for its emphasis on transparency and modernization. The government has undertaken bold reforms to improve tax collection efficiency, enforce anti-corruption measures, and simplify bureaucratic processes. These efforts are not just administrative. Investors see them as signs of a country maturing economically and politically. This enhances trust in Vietnamese institutions and, by extension, bolsters long-term confidence in the dong. International investors who once viewed the VND as a purely speculative play are beginning to reconsider. In 2025, many global portfolio managers are analyzing the dong as a serious addition to long-term diversification strategies. While it remains non-convertible in the traditional sense, the VND is no longer seen as an unpredictable outlier. Each reform step, each economic milestone, brings it closer to a more transparent and open financial future. Vietnam's cautious approach to currency evolution has been intentional. Rather than rushing toward rapid liberalization, the country is taking calculated steps, building economic resilience from the inside out. This measured strategy has given the dong time to grow in both value and reputation. International observers now see the VND not only as a currency but as a symbol of Vietnam's emergence as a stable, forward-moving economy. Currency strength is no longer only about exchange rates or reserve figures. Trust, usability, technological adaptability, and policy credibility now matter more than ever. And on all these fronts, the Vietnamese dong is showing marked progress. Its use in international trade, the rise of digital finance, and its acceptance among foreign financial institutions all point toward a currency steadily evolving in global relevance. It's also worth noting that Vietnam's central bank has demonstrated strong coordination with the broader government in aligning fiscal and monetary policies. This kind of macroeconomic harmony is rare among developing economies and further reinforces the dong's reliability in the eyes of financial professionals. The ability to manage inflation, control interest rates, and support sustainable lending practices while continuing to grow the economy is no small feat. On the global stage, the Vietnamese dong may not yet be ready to join the ranks of fully convertible or reserve currencies, but the momentum is unmistakable. From domestic confidence to international acceptance, from policy reform to technological modernization, Vietnam is laying the groundwork for a future in which the VND plays a more prominent role. And as investors look beyond traditional markets and currencies in search of resilient opportunities, the dong is increasingly entering the conversation. For followers of emerging markets and currency watchers alike, the VND's trajectory serves as a case study in disciplined development. It's a reminder that strategic economic planning, combined with institutional reform and technological adoption, can transform even the most overlooked currencies into assets of global significance. In many ways, the Vietnamese dong of 2025 is not just a financial instrument. It's a story of national progress, economic vision, and regional influence. At Iraqi Dinar News, while our main spotlight remains fixed on the Iraqi dinar and its evolving journey, we recognize the importance of highlighting other emerging currencies that shape the global financial landscape. The Vietnamese dong is one such example, an unfolding narrative of growth, trust, and potential. Thank you for staying with us. If you found this coverage insightful, we encourage you to subscribe, drop your comments below, and let us know your thoughts on the future of the Vietnamese dong. Could it one day rival traditional currencies in trade and investment? Only time will tell. Stay connected to Iraqi Dinar News for more updates that matter to currency watchers and economic observers around the world.